right, everybody, we're live today. Everybody, first of all, everybody, welcome to the Vision Podcast. We're a podcast where we interview the next wave of up and coming great entrepreneurs, great founders, great co-founders. Like this man with us here today, MT Strickland. What's up, MT?
Man, what's going on, brother, man? Super excited to be here with you, man.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you can take the time out to join me, man. Yeah,
taking the time out is a thing nowadays, you know. You think about the day where it's like, yeah, I'm trying to be busy and I'm trying to have stuff going on. Why is my calendar not full? And then your calendar get full. It's like, whoa. Y'all don't want to talk to me that bad. Chill out.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you come through, man. I remember this to give people a background. I remember we first met a few months ago. Was it October 2022? We were both at the same little happy hour for entrepreneurs, for co-founders, for National Black MBA Conference. Yeah. And we just hit it off immediately, man. I don't know if it's the fact we both from Decatur, but we just hit it off immediately, man. It was great talking to you. It was great finding out what you're doing with Metric Mate, man. I was already impressed. And as a former athlete, I was like, I could already see the opportunity that you have. And I know you and your team are on it. That's one thing I was really impressed with from the beginning. I was like, you ever think about this? You like, I'm on it. You ever think about this? Oh, I'm on it, man. I'm on it. So yeah, man, you big ups to you and your team, what y'all doing over there, Metric Mate, man. Let us know, for the people who don't know, let us know about Metric Mate and what it is that you do.
No, without a doubt. So co-founder, CEO of Metric Mate. I have my two co-founders, Clemus Ricks and Braxton Davis. Patent attorney extraordinaire in Braxton Davis, and Clemus Ricks is one of the smartest software developers I ever met in my life. I appreciate him with everything that he's got. But we've come together after coming out of Morehouse, being the corporate individuals that we can be in and running our own businesses. We came together to bring Metric Mate to life, which is a data analytics company. And we have developed a patented fitness technology. We call it our Training Accountability Partner Technology, or TAP for short. We tell people to tap in all the time. That's our little marketing moniker. But with this device right here, this TAP sensor, we're able to apply it to your strength training equipment. So your barbells, your dumbbells, your kettlebells, your machines, your jammer arms, your maces, pretty much all of that equipment that you use for strength training to develop your muscles and your endurance and all of that good stuff. And now we take that relatively primitive equipment and make it smart. And that's the big wave going into everything. Everybody's got their Apple Watches and their Fitbits for their walking. And now you got the Peloton for the cycling and the Hydros for the rowing and all of this stuff. And they provide a plethora of data on your workout. And we've seen that having that data, tracking that progress, being able to take control of your fitness journey, not only makes your workouts more efficient, makes them more fun, but also keeps people on the journey to actually get to the finish line. And that's something that we've had an issue with, not only in the States, but in the world as a whole, as we continue to get bigger and food gets tastier and more restaurants pop up. Then a little bit, we kind of lose control of the fact that our bodies need that activity to maintain their optimal form. And so we're hoping, we're not even hoping at this point, brother. We are in the middle of bringing to the world the opportunity to take control of their fitness journey in a way that they haven't in the past. And that's for the individual, for everybody. One of the great developments of this year is that we have the opportunity to go direct to consumer. If you haven't had the opportunity to see, we actually had our Shark Tank episode, shameless plug, air on January 13th. Check it out, season 14, episode 11. And we kind of give the breakdown of what we are as a company and as a technology. But what we're hoping in the long run is that we have some type of influence over the behaviors of people. And being able to take that motivation that you have inside of the gym. I tell everybody all the time that you don't get unmotivated with your fitness journey when you're on the treadmill. It's like you might be mad that you're on the treadmill. You might be like, I'm trying to get off this treadmill, but you finish out what you started to do. And the same thing with the bike, the same thing with the rowing, and the same thing with your bench press or your leg extensions or your shoulder presses or your squats. You don't just rack the weights, pick your stuff up and be like, I'm never doing this again. You actually feel at that time then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do this more often, because you get that endorphins running, you get all those hormones going that keep you positive and happy, and then your whole day is just good because you got that workout in. Where you actually lose that motivation is when you wake up that next day and it's like, okay, I got to drive this 15 minutes to the gym, or I can lay back down on this pillow that was making love to me 5 seconds ago. Right. Which one am I going to pick? Sometimes you're going to pick that pillow, or when you're sitting at the dinner table and you just ate that great meal and you're like, man, I have room for a cheesecake. I think I'm going to go ahead and get one. We want to be that platform that allows you to be able to take that data from your workout, share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your trainers and whoever you want to, and get those likes, get that motivation, get those comments saying that you're doing a great job, so that when you're in the middle of that decision-making process on if you're going to finish your fitness journey, if you're going to continue down that path, you can look at that engagement and say, you know what? I feel good about this. They have made me happy. These people that support me and love me are supporting me and loving me for being better for me. I think I'm going to continue down this journey. And whether you're trying to lower your cholesterol, you're trying to get your blood pressure in check, if you just want to be able to fit into that dress before you get ready to go to your best friend's wedding, we want to be the platform that allows you to feel great about your fitness. Being able to get the streaks and the leaderboards and all of these things that we've been shown from the Apple Watch and closing rings that motivate people to stay active. We want to do the same. I need to stop saying that. I keep doing that. We're doing that for the strength training realm. You know, whether you're the professional athlete that knows what they want to do, or you're the newbie that doesn't want to go to the gym because you don't want to look like you don't know what you're doing, or you're picking up the wrong weights or doing something wrong. If you have Metric Mate, you have access to Metric Mate, you take the time to input what you want your fitness goals to be, we want to be the platform to help you get there no matter what.
Okay. So break it down for me. If I go to say my newbie, I go to the gym, haven't been to a gym before, or I've been to a gym, I messed around a little bit, but I'm not really, I don't have a background in working out. I'm not a trainer or nothing like that. If I go there with the Metric Mate, I can plug into a machine, and the machine is connected to an app, right? Is that how it works?
Yep. So with Bluetooth, all the information over to an app. That app is where all the magic happens. It has the algorithms on the background. So we're going to take that data that you're producing, that we're able to collect now due to our tap sensor, and we're going to feed it into that application. And for those ones that don't necessarily have a grasp on what they want to do, we have a list of guided workouts that are linked with the Metric Mate tap sensor. So now you can just boom, hit start workout. You got your earphone in your ear because you got your music jamming and saying, hey, go to the bench press, put it on 135 and do 10 reps. And as you're doing those reps, the Metric Mate sensor is tracking those reps and calculating that in the app. So when you get to 10, it's like, hey, good job. You did a great job. Now go to the leg press, put it on 35 pounds and give me 10 of those. And so it's going to literally guide you through every step of your workout to the point where you haven't been to the gym in a while, or you haven't been to the gym at all. You walk in and look like an expert because you have Metric Mate.
Right. No, that's incredible. That's incredible. Even someone like me has a background, working out, sports and all stuff like that. One thing for me, I was old school. You used to have a pad, a pencil, go in there and write everything down what you did. So you would have this big pad. You had weeks and weeks and stuff. So you had to track everything week by week by week. Something like this, if I understand it right, it can eliminate all that because it's tracking everything through the app. So you can always see where you are. You can always see the progress you've made on a weekly or a monthly basis, right?
Exactly. And wild enough, in 2023, that pen and paper is our biggest competitor. That's the thing that we see in the gym more than anything else, with all the apps out there and all the available metrics tracking. People don't want to use it because it's cumbersome. You have to literally sit there, you do your reps. Now you have to go into this app, open it up, remember what it was, find it on the little scroll down list, put in how many reps and sets you did. And then by that time, you got to get ready to go to the next exercise machine. Even if you know what your routine is, you probably forgot. It's like, I can't even remember what I'm supposed to do next because it took me so much time to be able to find this information in this app so I could try to keep up with what I'm doing. People don't even use it. So they literally will bring a pen and pad in. Crazy enough, there are machines out there that are made that are tens to twenties of thousands of dollars in these gyms that people pay to go to. And they'll sit there with all their fancy screens and their tracking and all that stuff. And it'll still be somebody there with a pen and pad writing this stuff down. It's like you have access to be able to track this stuff, but it's so cumbersome. It's so hard to use. There's so much of a learning curve because you've already got to figure out how to use this new type of machine that they tried to put these electronics in. So now they have to reconfigure stuff and put the buttons and the switches and the pulleys somewhere else. So you got to figure out how to use it in the first place. You don't want to have to figure out how to use the electronics as well. So people still take their pen and pad into the gym. We literally are the replacement for that pen and pad. We're just as simple, if not simpler, than having a pen and pad, because now you don't have to program your own workout in your head. We've done it for you. And then if you want to share that data with a professional trainer, so say you have a personal trainer, or say you're rehabbing an injury, so you have a physical therapist that you're working with, they can literally build a workout specifically for you inside of the Metric Mate app. So you know this is made for me. This is made for my condition or whatever goal that I want to achieve. And that trainer has the knowledge, the know-how, the perspective to be able to make sure that you're going down the right path. And if an adjustment needs to be made because maybe you decided to go out of town and you didn't take your Metric Mate and now you need to restart, they can go in and modify your workout in the app so that you can still progress and reach your goals. And then on that note, if you do travel, you can't take that machine out of that gym and put it into the hotel so you can continue to track your metrics. This thing right here comes in this little case right here. You could toss it in your suitcase. You could toss it in your bag, your purse, take it with you. Now you could turn that hotel in the middle of mainland China into a smart gym. Specifically for you, dedicated to you. Get your data, get your metrics, put it in the app, send it back to your trainer so they can look and analyze, build you a new workout. And now instead of having to restart when you come back, you can just take and continue your workout journey. Even if you dumb it down a little because you're on vacation, at least you're doing something. And that's the big thing about fitness. Something is better than nothing. And everything is better with Metric Mate.
There it is. Slogan.
Saw that?
That's the slogan right there. Slay that in there. But let me ask you this: like that's an incredible idea. Even now you talk about like the injury, working with a trainer or with a physical therapist. I just had knee surgery last year for my meniscus with a meniscus kit. Something like that would have been incredible. What made you, going back to the very beginning, what made you even think of this idea?
Well, I have to give credit where credit is due. My business partner, Braxton Davis, is the brainchild of this idea. Patent attorney extraordinaire, electrical engineer. And we wanted to answer a simple question. What did I do the last time I went into the gym? It wasn't a complex question. It was just literally a situation where you go into the gym, you go to the machine you worked out on last time. You're like, okay, did I do 40 pounds or did I do 60 pounds? Did I do 10 reps or did I do 8 reps? And so you're over here trying out 40 pounds. Like, okay, that's a little too light. Or maybe I did 80 pounds. Well, that's a little bit too heavy. So now you're 5 reps in. You finally figure out that you need to be at 60. And it's like, I've already done 5 reps. So what am I going to do? 5 more reps? Or am I going to do the full 10 to be able to get the maximum amount of my workout? What do I need to do? And so that's where the ideation for Metric Mate came from. And so he was kind enough to share his child with me, his baby, his idea with me one day when we were working on some other projects. And then from my perspective, just to give you a little background on me, I actually had a partial hip replacement over 16 years ago. Okay. From an injury that I had when I was 14 years old. So that was over 21 years ago, playing basketball. And so I've been to the rehab. I've had multiple surgeries, of course, the hip surgery, knee reconstructive surgery a couple of times because of the change and the shift in my weight and all of that stuff. So I've been through physical therapy over and over and over again. So when he brought this idea to me, he saw it as a opportunity to be able to help people be better in their fitness journey at the gym. I saw it as a complete universe of opportunities extending out to medical procedures, to physical therapy, to strength and conditioning coaches, because my oldest brother played in the NFL for several years. So I had exposure to that life as well, and how training changes when you leave the facility where you're playing. Shout out to Baltimore Ravens one time. You leave that facility where you have all these people that are dedicated to your athletic growth, and you go on vacation to Belize or to Timbuktu or wherever, and the equipment is not as adequate. You try to get a workout in, but it's not going to be the same. So we thought about being able to take this type of apparatus that was at the time dedicated to high caliber athletes and make it portable, make it something easy to use, make something that you can be in all encompassing in your fitness journey, instead of just having it in these blocks, because that restart is the hardest part.
Right.
Coming back to the gym after you had a couple of weeks off and having to restart going hard, it's not about to happen. So now you got to ramp back up. So you're wasting time and you're wasting training sessions where you could actually be moving forward and getting better. You're trying to get back into the game. So thinking about it from that perspective, having the experience that I've had, it really allowed us to be able to build a platform that not only services the individual that's going to the gym, but the individual that might need to rehab. And we built it with the trainer in mind. So that was our key customer at the beginning, was the personal trainer, the physical therapist, the strength and conditioning coach. So we had the opportunity to sit down with several of them, pick their brain on what they needed to do their job optimally, especially from a remote fashion. And we incorporated into the building of the app. So now we have something that will deliver on everything that we wanted to deliver to at the beginning. What did I do the last time I was in the gym? But then gives a lot of power to the entire fitness ecosystem. So now we can start pushing people towards being healthier, living longer, enjoying the days where they're on this planet, because they're mitigating ailments. They're doing preventative maintenance by just taking the steps to see their metrics, get excited, and go back tomorrow.
Right. So, you talk about the interviews you had, the people you talked to, building the app. Take me all the way back to the beginning. When your partner came to you and said, "Here's my idea," and he brought you on board, and you guys were like, "Oh, this is a great idea. Let's move forward with it." How did you know what next steps to make? What did you do next to even get to the point where, okay, now we got to add? What were your next steps?
Man, it was a journey. It was a journey. Like, especially coming into to something where somebody had an idea of what it wanted to be, and that's any entrepreneur. When you start down this journey, you have a question and you have an idea about the solution. It definitely morphs, as we know. Things change, you change things, but at the onset, you have to be gung-ho about what you believe the solution is. Otherwise, you're never going to get started. So to make a pivot or to change direction, which is par for the course, is going to happen several times in the journey, is hard to swallow, especially when it first comes around. So being business owners previously, me, Braxton, and Kalimas have all owned our own businesses. We attacked that part first. We needed to understand, okay, before we build this thing out and start investing our time, money, energy, blood, sweat, and tears into it, what is it that we want it to be? And not just from a platform perspective, but from what is it that we want from this at the end of the day? Is this a family business where I want to pass this down to my daughter and she passed this down to her son? Because there's a different mindset in building a business, if that's the case, rather than we want to IPO this thing and take it into the public market. That's a different type of structure, a different type of building. And where we actually settle is that we want to harvest this company. We want to build something that is absolutely impressive, absolutely awesome. But at the end of the day, we want to be able to hand this over to another company that is entrenched in the space and revolutionize the way that they service their customers. And that's going to be our gift to the world. We're going to build this planet and combine it with another solar system and let it revolve around this new sun that is this big company. and go off and enjoy what we've built and watch it become what it's going to be, and be able to look back and say, yeah, we had something to do with that. Right. And that's a completely different mindset when it comes to being able to develop this company. After you figure that out, then all of the paths kind of converge, because the first thing that you need to do is figure out if what you're building the people want. You have to find out if there's a customer for what you're building. There's so many entrepreneurs out there that build and focus and silo themselves and come up with this thing that they think is a diamond, and it's actually a turd because nobody wants to use it. It's like, I don't want to use it. Like, that's not solving the problem in the way I need the problem to be solved. So from that point, we went into the market. Okay. We had something to look at. You know, we didn't have everything flushed out yet, but we knew what the problem at least was for us, because we're not only founders, we're also customers. I use my Metric Mate every day. It's in my car. I take it to the gym. I run my TAP assessment, which is our 15-minute exercise circuit that gives me my fitness level. I run that every day. So I'm keeping track of my numbers every day, and I'm using it as a part of my workout regimen. So that unique perspective allowed us to be able to kind of understand what the problems of the customer are. But we're not the only customers. And that's the fortunate part about us running businesses before, is that we had the opportunity to run into customers that had different reasons for utilizing our businesses before. We had to find that out. And if you were trying to service those customers and giving them something that didn't fit into why they wanted to use your business, your brand, or your company, then you weren't going to be successful. And so that's why we went into the market. We surveyed people. We let people hear what our pitch was, what it is we were trying to do. And there were a lot of people at the beginning that were like, I don't need that. Now I'll stick with my pen and paper, and I don't think you should build this because nobody's going to buy it. There were enough people, obviously, because we continued down the path, that was like, I can see myself doing this. And the unique position that we were in is that there was no Peloton. At least there was no Peloton on a massive scale. The most we had was a smart treadmill. There really was, Fitbit wasn't going the way it is now. Apple Watch wasn't changing the way that people view their watches and their wearables the way it is now. So that concept of using data to not only motivate but to elevate was a foreign concept. We didn't have all the graphs on TV during the political campaigns, and they weren't using statistics on TV like they are with sports. So unless you were into those things, you really didn't understand the gravity of having that data. So people weren't really in tune to it. So we had to expose ourselves to the market and find out not only if people would use it, but what type of people would use it. And then we found that target market, and we defined that ideal customer profile, and we started going after those folks, getting in front of those folks. All right, saying, let's not worry about the folks that's not going to use it. Let's focus on the people that are going to use it right now. And let's get it in front of them. Let's let them test it. Let's let them use it. Let's let them tell us what we need to provide for them to make their lives easier, and build that, you know. And that's a process, no matter what business you're building. If it's a consulting business, if it's a technological product business, if you're selling weave at the hair supply store, you have to talk to the people that are going to use your product, because they're going to be the best source of feedback, not only at the beginning, but as you iterate, as you grow, as you continue to try to master the market. You have to keep your ear to the streets, so you know what people are enjoying, what they're not, make those changes, make those pivots. Case in point, and it's an opportunity that I always carry with me, is the Uber and the taxi situation. For years, taxis were not listening to the customers, and you could tell because they were treating the customers like crap-ola. all day, all night. That was the joke on the comedy stages. That was the joke on Seinfeld. It was in every TV show you did, even if taxis weren't the main source of information in that show. They always had a portion of the show where somebody would go out and get a taxi and a taxi would drive by. It was like, bro, you see me right here. No matter who it was, black, white, yeah, red, yellow, green, or blue. Didn't matter. The taxi service was looking at that, and Uber came in and said, you know what? You don't even have to put your hand up. Just let us know where you are, and we'll send somebody there for you. It sounded sketchy at the beginning because I'm getting this stranger's car to get transported to where I'm going, but people were so disgusted with the current state of things that option, getting into a stranger's car, that this app sent to your address. So now they have a way to be able to find you, but I don't care because the taxi service is so terrible. I will risk the biscuit and allow this stranger to pull up in front of my house and pick me up and expect them to take me where I want to go. That's how broken that system was. That's what happened when you remove your ears from the street. So as I talked about from the beginning, we knew we needed to do that, and we took the approaches to be able to do that. That's something that we're doing till today, and that's something that we'll be doing if we haven't sold this thing off 10 years from now. We'll still be in the face of the people that are using our product, getting that feedback, making them feel great for giving us that feedback, so they'll continue to give us feedback because we know that's the way that you iterate, that's the way that you grow. And in our case, with us creating a category, which I don't recommend anybody do, this is hard. I am exhausted because we're trying to like define something. Like Apple had hard enough time to get people to get in tune with the watch. Then they were creating a category. They had a hard enough time, and they're a multi-billion-dollar company at the time they released the watch. We're a startup, and we're creating a market for strength training data tracking. We have to keep our ear to the street if we want to continue to be the leader in this market. If we want to continue to hold the higher market share over companies that we know are going to come in and enter this space, the only way we could do that is by keeping our ear to the street. And you do that at the beginning, you do it at the middle, you do it at the end, and that's the best way to be successful.
Yeah, man. And I think it's appropriate that you used Uber too, because not only they keep their ear to the street, but also they're willing to pivot. Because I remember when they first started out, I was reading about them. They actually thought they were going to have to purchase the cars, but then they used other people's cars, and they just got the driver. So, I mean, that's something on two different ways. Like you said, they had the ear to the street, but also they were willing to adjust based on what they saw from the public. It's a lot like this book I read recently, Lean Startup. It talks about the same thing. Start the very basic version of your idea, then adjust based on the feedback you get from the from the people, from your target market. So yeah, I think y'all really wise to do that, man. Y'all really wise to do that. Like I said, y'all got a good squad, man. You got a really good squad.
Hey, so, we're fortunate, brother.
Yeah, man. On that note, so it's 3 co-founders, right? It's 3 of you all. Any advice for a team? Because there's a lot of founders, one-person founders and co-founding teams. Any advice for a co-founding team when it comes to working with a group of other co-founders?
Man, excellent question. Be selective. Period. Right. We were fortunate because we have a tie that transcends us. We all went to Morehouse College, and the indoctrination of Morehouse College makes you brothers. That's why all Morehouse men are my brothers. I don't like them all, but I don't like all my family either. You know what I mean? But they're my family, and I'm going to do everything I can to be honorable, noble, and look out for them in every way possible. And that's what you need from a co-founder. You have to be able to place the egos to the side, because even in our situation, Braxton was the CEO. It's just his idea, so he was leading the ship. And as we matured and got better, and he got some grandiose opportunities, including becoming a patent attorney for Meta, which is a huge freaking deal, his focus had to kind of shift, but I was already entrenched in the game. It was like, this is what I built my foundation of my corporate life to do, is to be a part of an entrepreneurial endeavor, make it successful, and lead it into the future. So he had his North Star right in front of him. And Metric Mate was a part of my North Star, because actually the way that I got involved, he was working on, he helped me become a patented inventor. He was my patent attorney on another business that I'm gonna start once we sell this thing, and which is one of my motivations for harvesting this company, is I plan on taking the proceeds and putting it back into the business that I was working on when we first met. And so he worked on my patents. We got a chance to work together there. And then we built a couple of other things. I helped him on his National Council on Patent Practicum, which is becoming an amazing source to being able to bring minorities into the patent field and increase that percentage from about the 2.5% of IP professionals that are minorities or underrepresented groups, and increasing that percentage. And so he had so many things that he was doing for the community and focusing on. And Metric Mate had become my child, because I put my other child on ice, know. So it was like being able to be humble enough to say, hey man, you are killing it here. You've transferred all of the resources and all of the network and all of the opportunity that you built bringing Metric Mate to life bringing your other company into life to Metric Mate. Since you made that transition, here's the CEO title. You need to be the one in the front of the ship that's leading that. That takes a certain confidence and humbleness that a lot of people don't have.
Right.
Period. And it takes a certain level of trust with the person that you decided to put by your side to lead this thing into the future. He had to trust me beyond a shadow of a doubt to do that type of thing, to take his baby, the thing that us as men is going to get as close to birthing as we're going to get, is building a business that came from our dream and putting it into the world. So that's as close. And he said, here, take this, and I want you to raise it into a nice, honorable young business and make it whole.
Right.
To do that's a real humbling experience, and that takes a lot of confidence, not only in yourself but in your partner. And so I would tell even the founder that will stay at the helm of their company, that's the type of confidence and trust that you need to have in the people that are at the beginnings of you building this, because that is the group that's going to shape the culture for the future of this business. And a lot of people talk about, you got to make money because money is like, yeah, you got to make money. Money is the literal blood of your business. No human being can survive without blood. But the culture is the brain. And you're not going to survive without a brain either. You got blood, and you can transport it, and you got a heart to pump it, and you got a brain that's going to send those electrical signals to the heart to pump it. Then you bring life. So you could be bringing in money, and we've seen companies that are bringing in gobs of money. Going back to Uber, Uber was bringing in gobs of money, but the person at the head of the brain destroyed the culture, and it almost ceased to exist.
Almost even like WeWork, same story, same
story, same story. FTX. It's like you can have as much blood in the body as possible, but if the brain's dead, the body's dead. It's like you can lose up to 8 quarts of blood before you start perishing.
You're going deep into this analogy, brother. You're going deep into it.
You know what I'm saying? But if you lose brain activity,
right, that's it.
That's it.
Right.
So people talk about having funds and all of that, but that culture will literally kill your business faster than you getting low on money, because somebody could believe in your culture, somebody could believe in you as people, and come in with a bunch of money and be like, hey, you know what? I think you're going to do the right thing, and you've built a team of people that really believe in what you're doing. Here goes some money. Let me pump some blood back into your body and put you back to life. Right. That can happen. But once your culture is destroyed, and especially if it's the head person that's disseminating that toxic culture, There's nowhere for you to go.
Yeah.
So,
back from that.
So being able to evaluate these people for my single founders, don't bring on another co-founder. Don't bring on another C-suite individual. There's a lot of levels to the C-suite. You can look at corporate structure. There's directors, there's senior directors, there's vice presidents, there's senior vice presidents, there's presidents. Then you get to the C-suite. So there's a lot of opportunity for you to build in structure so that you can test the mettle of these people that you believe are going to be about their life before you give them the title of about their life.
Right.
Take that time. And if they don't have the humility to say, I believe in what you're doing so much that this title is not going to dictate the amount of effort that I put into us bringing this together and us doing what we're doing, not you doing what you're doing and I'm gonna support you. It's like, no. It needs to be a us, we type situation. You'll never hear me talk about Metric Mate in a positive light and I just talk about myself.
Right.
It's always we, it's always us, because that's the way it's supposed to be. And if you're going to inseminate somebody into your child, they need to be about we and us as well. And the way that you test that is testing that. Forget all of the ego, because if they have that ego and they're like, I don't want to be a director, I'm a VP at this company over here. It's like, yeah, but you're a director over here. Right. We ain't got that many employees, so it's not like you reporting to somebody. So why are you upset that I'm not making you the CTO off rip? It's like, just be a regular person. Case in point, Clemus, our CTO, our third co-founder, he started off as a contractor. Okay. We paid him to do his thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you do this, well, we'll give you money. Well, he invested in the company, and and that's what really got it, is that he invested not only through his conglomerate of friends that have amassed enough money to be able to be an investment group. They invested in Metric Mate, and he was the lead on that investment. So convincing them that this was a good idea, which was one gold star in his hat. Then he said, you know what? I see what y'all need. I can accomplish that. So I'm going to donate from my own company time and money to develop what you all need to succeed.
Okay.
What? You're gonna take from your own pocket because you believe in what we were building at the time when it was just me and Braxton. That's the we mentality. Right. That's as we as you're gonna get. Hey, I got y'all. Let me do this. And then he did it in phenomenal fashion. So when we came to the point where me and Braxton sat down and looked at what had been accomplished in the short period of time that he had been around, it was like, we need a CTO. He had already gave us, and we were talking about before we got on, contractors and how they will rape you if you don't have the right context to be able to lead them. And we didn't. We had gone through that process, paid out a bunch of money to be able to do something over a period of time that worked, but didn't work the way we wanted it to. Right. And Clemens literally came in and wiped all of that out and did what we expected, and then took it to a whole nother level. You know, like put in stuff that we didn't even think about that we needed, but he had that strategic mindset from running his own software development company that he was like, yo, you're going to need this. So let me put this in now. Let me go ahead and structure everything so that when you get to that point that I know we're going to get to, then we're ready to be able to take advantage of that because I've already built it in from the beginning. That's the type of person that you want to be able to say, hey, here's some equity, a large portion of equity. Let's go ahead and as a team take this forward. If people don't have that, the humility in themselves, and then the setup to be able to do that, don't do it. Right. You can do bad all by yourself. And you'll do worse by bringing in somebody that's going to drag you down. So take your time. I know it's going to hurt. I know it's going to be hard. Building this stuff is hard, period. Building it with bad people that have equity in your company makes it 10 times harder.
Right.
I have countless stories of founders that did not take that time to develop those relationships and put those people to the fire so they could see their real character, that they're going to have to pay out once they sell this company to somebody that hasn't done work in years. They haven't seen them in years.
Yeah, that's going to hurt
them in years, but they signed that contract thinking that this person had good interest in their company and not proving that this person has good interest in this company, not qualifying that person to be an equity holding co-founder, that now they're missing equity that they could use to raise money for their company because this person is just sitting on it and they won't return phone calls. You can't take no illegal action because you signed the contracts, and it's like,
that's it.
The contract, they stayed long enough to get fully vested. No lawyer is going to take that case because they're going to lose.
Right.
So now they're required to either structure the new contracts going forward so that they can dilute out that equity as much as possible, or if they sell the company before they get to that point, a large chunk of those proceeds is going to go to somebody that was actually a detriment, and that hurts.
Yeah, it hurts. No, I mean, people get hurt off of, actually, it hurts to pay someone as a business owner, to pay someone who's not doing their job. But it's a whole nother level to give that same person equity. I mean, it's a whole nother level. So I think that's great advice. There's a lot of teams with good ideas that break up because, like you said, egos, or people aren't, some people more focused than others, some people more committed than others. So it's good to see that your team brought on somebody who, in your CTO, who actually, they put the money where their mouth is. They're into the business. And I know from being a business owner, there's nothing like someone who treats their business like their own. It's hard to find. I've taken some risks on someone who didn't necessarily have all the skills, but I can build the skills. But someone who treats their business like it's their business, it's hard to find. So now it is his business. It is all y'all's business now. So it's a win-win situation.
Dude, and we're more than happy. Like, you can ask them if you get a chance to talk to him. I ask all the time, bro, are we still having fun? And he's like, yeah, man, I'm still having fun. The smiles on his face. And everybody's like, yo, even when the dump's on, it's like, yo, we are in the middle of the weeds. We need to figure this out. The coffers are getting low. And I'll just come out like, hey, man, y'all still having fun? Yeah, man, we still having fun. And there's no substitute for that. There's no matter what's happening, there's no substitute for having people around you that are enjoying the process, knowing that it's a strain, but enjoying the process with you. Man, it'll change things.
Absolutely. So I'm not gonna keep you too long, MT, but last question tonight. Think back over your 2022. I know it was a long year. Y'all made a lot of progress in 2022. Man. What's the biggest lesson you learned though in the past year?
I literally talked about this morning, and that's why it might be fresh on my head, bro. Make your friends before you need them.
Okay.
Boy, and literally that might, I think I made that my my mantra for the year. Every year I try to pull in some type of mantra. And it's usually because of things that happened that previous year, and it's usually a precursor for that next year. But the relationships that I built 5, 10, 15 years ago, just, you have good energy. Let's talk. Let's talk. Then one of a great dude that I know, Eric Gordon, shout out to him. I literally met him walking through the Home Depot, and he was about to buy a tool that I had just used with my wife, and it was terrible. And I just returned it, and I was getting ready to use my return credit to go buy something else. And he was about to buy it. And something spoke to me, because you see people in the Home Depot all the time. Right. Like, walk by him, you ain't worried about it. But something spoke to me and said, hey man, save that man. And so I went over to him and was like, dude, don't do it. What are you trying to do? He told me what he's trying to do, and I said, hey, actually, what you need to do is use this because I've researched what you're trying to do. You need to go get this tool right here. And I sent him the website, and we went on about our day. The opportunities that have manifested from that relationship are priceless. The conversations that have been had because of that relationship are priceless. So make your friends before you need them. Don't just look for the people that you feel like can fill a void that you have right now, because then that's a transactional relationship.
Right.
It's like, okay, I'm past this tumultuous thing that I was going through that you have the access to be able to help me get through. I don't know if I'm gonna talk to you again until I need something else. And then that builds, like, it could build resentment. It could build, hey, you got to pay me this time. It's like, but if you make your friends before you need them, if you pour into people before they can pour into you, once you get to that point, once you get to that pinnacle, and now it's like you're moving too. And you're actually moving in a direction that I can utilize. Bro, let me talk to you about what's going on. I've had more of my people, my tribe, my community reach out to us post Shark Tank, just wanting to be a part, wanting to pour in to what we're doing. And I didn't ask for anything. I was like, yo, we're going, we're trucking. I don't like asking people for stuff. I'm not, you can ask my friends all the way back from when I was a kid. I'm a giver. If you need anything from me, but got you. Shirt off my back, in there. But I could be freezing in the rain butt naked, and I'm not gonna ask you for your jacket. I'll figure it out. I'll build a fire. I'll find a barrel. I'll break it to somebody. I'll figure it out before I request for something. But the beautiful part about building these relationships with people before you need them is that they'll pour into you before you know that you need it. They'll come back to you and say, hey, bro, something about the universe moved me, and now I'm focused in the area that's real close to the area that I just found out that you were doing because you were on Shark Tank. And I realized what you were actually building, and the universe has moved me in a direction that I am in that area too. So let me help you with the resources that I have. I didn't ask for it. I didn't come and be like, hey, yo, is anybody in this space? Help me out. It was just like, I poured into them. We poured into each other in different ways. And that's the way the universe works. There was a saying back in the day that was, if you, and I'm paraphrasing, if you make up in your mind and you commit to what you want to do, then the universe will move in a way to help you achieve that thing. And that's what being a business owner, entrepreneur, startup founder is that you have committed to this single focus. And you said, I know that this doesn't exist right now, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to scream from the mountaintops that I am going to do this. And once you do that, those positive karma points that you put out into the universe just by being a good person will start to turn and start driving themselves toward bringing whatever you have to life. Those people that you've poured into through their own journey will be led in a direction that intertwines themselves with your forward motion. And now you're receiving gifts from these people that you have gifted, not thinking anything of it, not requesting that something come back to you. And now you're receiving in abundance in your abundance. It's the most humbling, the most beautiful, the most awe-inspiring thing that could ever happen. So if I had that one piece of advice, man, make your friends before you need them. Pour into people before they need to pour into you, and you'll reap the benefits in the long run for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's great advice. That is great advice. You can't get better than that. I mean, the whole interview you've been dropping gems. I really appreciate you taking the time out, man. I really appreciate you
man.
taking the time out, Brad. And best of luck. I mean, you know, like I said, need anything, reach out. I know you vice versa too.
Oh yeah.
We'll be in touch though. We'll be in touch for sure, man. But I really thanks for taking the time out, man.
Hey man, appreciate you having me on, man. You're building an amazing platform. I told you that from the jump. I really believe in what you got going on, and I'm just glad I can add content to the movement, brother. Anytime you need me, you know where I'm at.
Yes, sir. All right, MT. Take care, man. Let's talk to you soon.
Peace.